Aisles at California toy stores are going to look very different in the coming years. Over the weekend, Governor Gavin Newsom signed a bill requiring large retailers to provide gender-neutral toy sections. San Jose Assemblymember Evan Lowe wrote the measure. To explain what the change means for our kids and that generation, we're joined now by Dr. Jack Turban, a psychiatrist at Stanford Children's Health. Dr. Turban, thanks for joining me. First and foremost, what is the benefit of having a gender-neutral toy section?
I think there are a lot of benefits. First, there's an economic argument. So one thing that we've seen is that toys that are marketed towards girls, even if it's the exact same toy that's marketed towards boys, say in a different color, they tend to be marked up in price as much as 7%. So one thing that might happen is by putting all of the toys together, it'll be a little bit more transparent when companies are doing that and benefit equity in terms of boys and girls toys. But probably more important are these mental health benefits. So one thing we know is that when we force kids into gender boxes that the kids feel don't fit them, that's a strong driver of shame and anxiety and depression. And this bill really is designed to break down some of those barriers. And for instance, if a boy wants to play with dolls or a cooking set, this is going to send a message that that's okay. And what we've seen really internationally is that society is really hard on boys to express any kind of gender diverse interests like that. And hopefully this will improve things. It's also going to break down some of these stereotypes around professions in particular. So a lot of toys that are marketed towards girls are about cooking or things around the home, whereas a lot of toys marketed towards boys are about science and math. And so by putting all of those together, it's going to break down some of those stereotypes. And really, boys and girls need all of those skills, right? So we need Legos for boys and girls so they can develop visual spatial skills. We need toys that promote empathy and emotional vulnerability, both for boys and girls. So overall, I think this will be a really positive mental health impact.
Right. I mean, you know, at this point, yes, you can go buy your son a doll, or you can go and buy your daughter a science kit or something that might be more geared towards boys right now. But it's that once they get home or once they get on the playground and are playing with those toys, that's that moment that causes some issues these days. Is this type of study, studying this type of thing, is that fairly new? I mean, obviously, I don't think this was necessarily something that was at the forefront of anyone's mind when I was growing up, 30 years ago.
The research, it's not particularly new. I would say that we've had at least a decade of research showing us that whenever you force people, kids in particular, into these gender boxes and tell them that their gender diverse behavior is wrong or undesirable, that we see higher rates of anxiety and depression. So that is certainly not new. This type of legislation is new as far as I'm aware, although really I think the legislation is somewhat symbolic. It only applies to stores that have over 500 employees. It doesn't go into effect until 2024. The financial penalties are pretty negligible, right? If you have a company of 500 people, a fine of $250 is probably not a major issue for you. And really, I think the bigger story here is that industry is moving in this direction anyway. So we've seen Target starting to break down the way they present a lot of their products and presenting more gender neutral clothing sections, for instance. And so really, I think this is just a natural evolution of what we're seeing in industry anyway. And this legislation is just mirroring that, probably largely in a symbolic way.
I mean, because overall what you want is for your child to be well-rounded, right? And if you're stopping them from doing one thing or another, then it will hinder them in the long term, right?
Exactly. And these are really important skills that then drive health disparities and cognitive development issues, right? We want to make sure that girls, we think of toys as being frivolous, right? But a lot of them are really important. We need girls to have these construction kits to build their visuospatial skills in the same way that boys need that. And we need boys to develop emotional understanding and these nurturing instincts for them to be emotionally healthy. So exactly like you're saying, we just need this full repertoire of toys. And really, they are gender neutral. These are skills that all kids need to develop.
Definitely. If you were to hear pushback about this, if people were to say there's no point, what would you say to that person who doesn't understand necessarily why something like this is important?
I think the tough thing about this is that it'll likely be politicized, and people will see it as kind of an infringement on the freedoms of these stores. I do feel like that's largely a distraction, right? Because these stores, realistically, it's a very small financial penalty. I don't think it's going to cripple them in any way. That if they really wanted to not follow this law, they probably won't follow it, and they'll pay the small fine. I think really what's important here in this story is that for kids to develop well cognitively and emotionally, that we need to combat some of these gender stereotypes. And this is really from the research that we're seeing. When you force gender stereotypes on kids, their mental health is worse. So this is just another way of trying to combat that and hopefully raise a generation of kids who will be doing better than past generations.
Definitely. Dr. Jack Turban, psychiatrist with Stanford Children's Health, thank you so much for joining us and explaining why this is something that is a positive here for California. Appreciate it.